Welcome to Podcast 83, a regular look at the news, stories, and trends related to Michigan's 83 counties from the Michigan Association of Counties.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Podcast 83, the podcast put on by the Michigan Association of Counties. Today, my name is Steve Currie, the Executive Director of MAC. Today, we are joined by Eric Glinsky, who works with Nationwide, one of our partner programs we have here at MAC through the NACO relationship. Eric, welcome to Podcast 83. Can you give us a little bit of background on what you do for Nationwide and the relationship between Nationwide and counties across the country?
Yeah, absolutely. So Nationwide has a very strong partnership with NACO, the National Association of Counties, and certainly in the state of Michigan with the Michigan Association of Counties. We provide the retirement plan for thousands of counties across this country, including many in Michigan. Most counties actually have a plan with Nationwide in the state of Michigan as well. And my role at Nationwide is called a product specialist. And essentially what I do is help create awareness on certain investments that are offered within a 457 or 401A plan. And those types of investments we're going to talk a little bit more about today.
Yeah, let's get into that a little bit. Let's get into the weeds a little bit. We all know what retirement plans are. Let's talk a little bit about protected retirement solutions and how did they become available in retirement plans?
Yeah, it's a great question, Stephen. I'm going to apologize in advance because I have a little bit of a long answer for you.
All right.
But I want to make sure that I capture all components of that answer because they're all very relevant in appropriately answering that question. So I think to really touch on where we are today, it might be helpful to look back at the driving forces that got us here. And there are quite a few. So let's start with the state of retirement savings for America's workers today. The reality is that many pension benefits today are frozen. And to the extent pension benefits are still offered, the accrual formula may have also been reduced from what we've seen in the past, meaning the retirement benefit is not as generous as it used to be. And that is certainly the case with many counties right here in the state of Michigan. And also, if you add in the fact that the behaviors in the employment industry today are very different than the environment our parents or grandparents worked in, where they would get a job and work with a company or a county until they retired. In today's world, it's not unusual for participants to change jobs more frequently, especially for those younger adults. And as a result, this often leads to lower pension benefits if they're offered at all. And because younger workers do not stay long enough to accrue a significant benefit, in some cases, they don't even stay long enough to be vested, even when a pension is offered. And so really in either case, this places additional burden of retirement savings more directly on the participant in the form of a defined contribution plan like a 457. And while this trend really started in the private sector, it's certainly carrying over into the public sector as well. We see numerous counties and cities across the country adding 401A plans in which some cases allow for employee contributions to help fund their retirement as opposed to traditional defined benefit pension plan. So the retirement planning industry, along with the federal government, saw these issues and started advocating for change. And this led to a significant piece of legislation being passed in 2019 known as the Secure Act. And a lot of people are somewhat familiar with the Secure Act, probably more familiar with the Secure Act 2.0, which happened a few years later. This is actually referring to the Secure Act 1.0 back in 2019. And we know that ERISA does not directly apply to governmental 457B plans, but many 457B plans still generally follow ERISA as a best practice. So this legislation is still important to understand as it provided the environment under which new lifetime income solutions were developed. And so just to touch on it really quickly, the original Secure Act, the 1.0 version, was primarily designed to do three things. One, encourage more employers to offer a qualified retirement plan for their employees. Two, mitigate the challenges in offering guaranteed lifetime income solutions within their investment lineup. And three, help address the retirement income challenge. So the first version of the Secure Act, this 2019 version, sought to accomplish this in a number of ways. And although I will not go through all of them, I don't want to completely bore you and your audience, but for purposes of today's discussion, I will call out that it created a fiduciary safe harbor that provides plan sponsors some additional fiduciary protection when choosing to add lifetime income solutions to their defined contribution fund lineups. So lastly, this legislation really opened the door providers like Nationwide to innovate and provide these new lifetime income solutions, which are important as they can help savers close their retirement income gap. And like most things, I do have to provide this disclaimer. We at Nationwide and our representatives do not give legal or tax advice. An attorney or tax advisor should be consulted for answers to those types of specific questions. But it is an exciting time to be with Nationwide because we really have led the charge in this space, and I'm excited to be able to share a little about what we're doing. And certainly having risk management experience because we are so involved in the insurance industry really was a perfect fit for us to develop these new investments for use within retirement plans.
Yeah, you talked a little bit about different solutions, options that are available. Why do plan sponsors, or in our case, counties, think these are important?
Yeah, absolutely. So, a retirement plan is not just about accumulation of assets, right? It really is about being able to use those assets in retirement. And participants agree. They tell us through different research initiatives that we conduct, they are looking for ways to convert their retirement savings into income, but they aren't quite sure how to do that. And this is really where counties and county plan sponsors can help by offering lifetime income solutions in their 457 or 401A retirement plans. These solutions offer savers a way to grow their savings and ultimately, when the time comes, convert that savings into a stream of income that will last a lifetime. And what's interesting too, Steve, is that offering these solutions actually has benefits for plan sponsors too. If participants aren't in a position to retire on time, the delay can actually increase costs for the county. And so research from EY has found that actually even 1 year of delayed retirement can actually run up to $26,000 in labor and benefits costs per employee. So offering income solutions to help participants retire on time can have a big impact to the county's bottom line as well.
Yeah, some significant dollars there when you start adding them up. If you have even if you have few employees and you're a smaller county, that can really start adding up the dollars. Let's talk a little bit more about the participants here. What options are available through Nationwide that can help the participants?
Yeah, so we offer a few different lifetime income solutions that can be chosen to fit the needs of the county. And as we know, one size doesn't fit all. And really at their core, they really are just investment options that can be offered in a retirement plan. They are target date funds, and as you may know, target date funds and invest in a wide variety of underlying funds to help reduce investment risk. So in addition to the expenses of the target date funds, you pay a proportionate share of the expenses of the underlying funds. But like other funds, target date funds are subject to market risk and loss. And there is no guarantee that target date funds will provide enough income for retirement. So these new lifetime income funds take the typical target date fund to the next level, as they allow participants to continue to grow their savings. And then at retirement, they offer a simple way to turn that savings into a stream of guaranteed lifetime income. And the part that's really cool is that income is protected from market downturns as well and will last a lifetime. And this is because lifetime income component is backed by an insurance company, which adds that layer of protection. So, you know, as these investments grow in popularity, employers get to decide how they want to make them available to their employees once it is actually added to the plan. So one method for implementation is to make these lifetime income funds the plan's default investment. That way, a plan sponsor can be sure their participants have a fund that will generate retirement income should they fail to make their own investment election. At Nationwide, we also have a feature called Dynamic Default, which allows a plan to select two default funds based on age, meaning that participants can be in a more growth-oriented fund at a younger age, and then automatically transfer to a lifetime income fund closer to retirement. And then, of course, the participant always has the option to opt out if they change their mind or want to manage their own investments. So this means there really is something for everybody, and the plan can ultimately decide not only if they want to add the income solution, but how do they want to make it available to their employees as well.
Yeah, a lot of good flexibility there with the Nationwide program, both offering from the plan sponsor side as an employer, county, and from the participant side, being able to pick and choose a little bit what the plan sponsor is offering. So a lot of good options there. Eric, is there anything else that we didn't touch on that you maybe wanted to touch on today?
No, Steve, I just wanted to thank you and Mac the opportunity to share the Nationwide story and kind of outline the partnership that we have with NACO and with Mac and with counties all across Michigan, and just helping create awareness about these great new investments that can be available within the 457 and 401A plan that your counties are offering.
Great, Eric. Thanks for your time today. We appreciate the partnership with Nationwide. Have been in partnership with Nationwide for many years and really value it. So thank you for your time today. Thank you everyone for joining us, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thank you for listening to today's episode of Podcast 83.